This is part of a series where we explore places not just by location, but by feeling, rhythm, and reflective pause. Welcome to the 5-minute series.
We're preparing to go on a hike. We're at the camp at Shenandoah National Park. Good morning. We are in Shenandoah National Park. We're camping here. This is our second day. So basically we're having breakfast. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, we're having breakfast.
Good morning, good morning.
And this is our setup this morning.
In the morning, eat the soup. Not
Okay, so this is cream of soup. Well, I'm sorry, cream of potatoes soup. Okay, we just have some crackers and there's tea. Okay.
Buenos días, amigos. Buenos días, my friend. Mira, acá tenemos, hoy vamos a desayunar una sopa de patata o de papas. Tiene onión, tiene un poquito de cebolla. Tenemos aquí aparte un poquito de queso, jamón de pavo y unas galletitas de soda. Y su respectivo té. Así que hoy no pan, no bread, hoy sopita.
Okay, what you're saying basically is that we are having cream of potatoes soup. Okay, we have some crackers, some cheese, and some meat. So today basically there is no regular breakfast, and we have our tea. Okay, so that's the breakfast.
Sí, no un desayuno común.
That's not a breakfast, a common breakfast. We're taking the Jones Run Falls trailhead. Now this has a waterfalls, and then it is a loop also, so we're just going to do that. We're heading towards the waterfall, and it is a loop. Well, we plan to do the loop. Good. So, you know, good shoes is a must. Walking this way, and there's a couple behind us. There's somebody just walking in front of us, and they're actually getting back to probably their car. So
Good morning.
part of the Appalachian Trail. So, you know, usually the Appalachian Trail is highly trafficked.
Today is beautiful day.
The water filtration system. So you see there's water here. It's fresh water actually, so you can actually filter this. a little something. It's a little bit chilly, so you know I just wore this sweater. You know, it's a light sweater. You know, normally when we hike, you know, in the morning it's always cold, but it gets hot, you know, later on during the day.
Deportivos, pero no son pesados. Y eso los consigue uno en la tienda de Columbia. Atención, atención. Be careful. Y son cómodos porque no se resbalan, pero tampoco son pesados. Si se te llegan a mojar, no son pesados. Aunque ellos también son anti, ¿sabes? Que tienen como plástico, no se mojan.
Sí. I just got hot, so I took off my light sweater. Okay.
Estuvimos en una excursión en Carolina del Norte. Estuvimos haciendo picnic. ¿Cómo se llama? Fuimos a hacer, ¿cómo se llama? Pausa.
¿Qué? Oh. Ok, hace 3 meses.
Okay, hace 3 meses estuvimos en las montañas de Carolina del Norte, específicamente en Sugar Mountain. Es una zona donde tú puedes ir a esquiar. Y hubo un pequeño accidente, tuve una fractura en mi pie izquierdo.
Durante el esquí.
Durante el esquí, esquiando. Pero bueno, aquí estamos bien. Me recuperé, pero ya después de 3 meses decidimos volver a las montañas.
Pero pagué tanto dinero para el hospital, estamos ok ahora.
Esa es otra historia.
The hike. So anytime, you know, you're carrying water and it runs out. That's one of the, especially on a hot day, you know, the water runs out very quickly. Now, if you have a filtration system, you know, there are ways to filter water. You know, you have the tablets, you know, that you can filter water with, and then there is also the filtration systems, you know. Now, what I have is, the one that I have is a Swiss-made, like Caradin. It's got a ceramic filter, and then it also has some other kind of filter. So it's a 3-layer filtration system where you can go in there. I'm going to show you later on how, you know, I still have water right now, so I'm going to show you later on when I run out of water, you know, how I'm just going to take this water to drink. And you know, it is a good way where you don't carry a lot of water with you to make it heavy.
Hola a todos, quiero hacer una recomendación con respecto a esto. Esta planta que ven acá es el musgo. Si quieres puedes acercar un poco. Esto es musgo. Muchas personas utilizan este musgo para hacer materiales didácticos. Les recomiendo no eliminar el musgo de la naturaleza, ya que esta es una de las plantas que favorecen porque produce agua, produce mucha agua y mantiene el clima bien. Pero está en peligro de extinción científicamente, así que por favor no lo eliminen.
Wet and humid, so you know, because this place is highly trafficked, it's okay, but otherwise when you walk you just have to be very careful because you can slip. And a proper footwear is kind of crucial. Okay, I'm wearing now this is Timberland. You know, it is for hiking, and it also is waterproof. So, and it's got real good grooves, if you can see. So, you know, it is essential to do that too, you know, when you're hiking. There's a little waterfall that we came across. If you see the area, look at the area. See? So it's, look at the place. This is the waterfall. So you see, normally when you're hiking, this is the Appalachian Trail. So, you know, normally when you're hiking the Appalachian Trail, there's plenty of water, especially in certain areas you don't. But this part,
Be careful. Be careful. Papi. Be careful que tiene verde. Musgo.
so this is the waterfall that we were coming to. But we're just going to go down. Then we're going to take the loop to go the other way.
Atención.
So baja.
Mira, es gigante.
It's a huge rock.
Ahí duermen los animales. Ah, esto está cool. Así se puede. El problema es que esa es la única que la sostiene. Pero ahí se puede.
See, that's a good camping place if you didn't have a tent. You see the rock?
Mire lo que le va a caer encima.
You see how that rock is? See, that's where we came from. the mark on the rock. You know, it's a beauty in its own, and there's all sorts of life. You see that caterpillar? Look how big that is.
Como ramitas.
Now, this is a type of mushroom that grows like a tree. You see there is here and here too.
Sí, está como enfermo. Los animales son como enfermos. ¿Sí?
See how rugged this is. You see there is water, but it's very rugged. So, you know, a lot of people tend to jump on these rocks. You know, you should never do that when you're hiking, especially if you slip or if you twist. You know, there is no help for a long time. So, you know, you have to be very, very careful. You know, you just got to follow every step very carefully. You see, when you're going long distance hiking, you know, this, if you see the road and if you see that stretch there, is a good place to camp. Okay, normally if you go through other parts of Appalachian Trail, you know, you would see fire places and all that, because previously people have done this. And look, plenty of water, and you can take your shower here. You see with the water, right? And so this is an ideal spot to stop. But even if you don't stop, this is an ideal spot to relax a little bit and just put your legs in the water and take a shower. So this is almost like a swimming pool, you know, it has a depth to it. There's water coming from there. Although today the water is cold, but it's not very cold. You know, if you're hiked on a summer day, you know, you will be so hot you will just walk into this water. You know. Here, the path continues after the water. So I just got to cross the river. Here, this is the path, and there we go on the side there. You see, that's a place to camp. So I'm sure people have camped in the past. You know, we are not staying overnight this time, but if we were staying, you know, we would select a place like that. See down there, there's another area right next to the water. You can camp. You see, and this is the path. So we encountered this little bridge. There is water. Now, if you look at primary, okay, you have the buckle there, and you know the good thing about this buckle. Now, this is an REI bag. Okay, now we buy normally REI or Osprey. Now, if you see this is a whistle. So in case of danger, you can whistle. The reason why you have to have the buckle from the bottom and top is when you're climbing high on high elevation. Okay, when you're climbing on a high elevation, this pack, you know, if you're falling, you can put this side to the back so that you don't scratch your back or you don't hurt your spine. I mean, you probably still will, but you know, these things will protect you. So holding it with the belts, you know, will keep your bag while you are sliding down, you know, in place, with you. The other important thing here is that, you know, your water bottle, you see how it is attached. So if you fall, your water bottle is still with you because, you know, if you're down there and if you have to stay for a long time, you have your water with you, and if you're immobile, okay. And then, you know, all these hooks outside, okay, so you see all these hooks and everything else, you know, these are to carry things conveniently. And you know, normally when we do this in the city, we normally are careless. We don't take a note to that. Here's another little waterfall.
¿Puedo bañar?
Yeah.
¿Sí puedo bañar?
Here's an area you have to climb. There we go. Look at this guy. Another area of the trail. Yeah, we have to climb up. You see, normally I have altitude sickness, okay, and when I'm climbing, you know, I do breathe very heavily. It's better now compared to before, but still I have that. And you know, talking and walking, it's kind of very difficult. Okay, so now we come to another waterfall right here. No, it's like no. We have walked for about 3 hours now. Okay, the energy level is at question right now. So you know, normally what I do is this. I don't know if you know, saltine crackers. I take a couple of packs. It's very light. You don't even feel like that you're carrying one. But you know, we're going to be soon eating, but we are heading towards a waterfall to do that. But you know, so to get us there, I thought I'll snack a little bit, okay? And then obviously the first bottle of water has come to right there. So you know, as soon as the next time I see a water place, I'll be filling this, or we might continue because we have another bottle. So you see, and this is how you gain strength. And you know, I'm seated on a little rock here, okay, just to kind of get some air and a breather, okay, and we're going to be continuing soon. In this hike, we have encountered a lot of waterfalls. You know, there's something about waterfalls that people go towards, but I understand why. There's some kind of calm in that noise. You know, it is relaxing. bottle of water. Okay, and it's filled. I have Canadian water filtration system. Okay. And this, just like that. So this is the water filtration system. Okay, it's Canadian. So I'm going to put the water there and then start pumping. So basically, the water is all in there. The bottle is in there. Full bottle of water. So the system, you know, it's got three different types of filters. One is and it's a very easy system. So this is where you put in the water. Okay. Now this one generally takes any bottle. You can screw it in, or you can just hold it. And then this is the bottom part where when you are not using it, you just cover it. Okay. And then you start simply pumping. And as you pump, okay, the water will fill, and it fills very quickly also, so which is very handy this way. And then to maintain, you simply unscrew that, and look, that water had this much dirt. Now more, that water had so much dirt there, so it's basically muddy, but so you see what I'm talking about, right? So now I just got to wash it, and to maintain the washing, when you go home, you're just going to rinse this. You're going to pump some water that is with chlorine, and then also now this is a disc that you can take out. You see the filter is clean, but the disc is not. Okay, so the disc, you can just clean that, and you can also change the disc. Okay, so that's the water system, the water cleaning system that I often talk about. So we're basically cooking lunch, and here's lunch. Okay, so this is a stew, a packeted one, and so you see the setup. Okay, the cooking, and these are very light to carry. Okay, so we seated just by the waterfall here and just going to have our lunch. And we also have some chips, just to complement it. We also have tea if you needed tea right afterwards.
Lo bueno de comer cerca de un río es que tú puedes lavar todo, ¿cierto?
Sí.
Tú puedes decirlo en inglés para que vean.
Now eating next to a waterfall or a river, you can wash everything. You can take water. Now remember, this soap that we have is a biodegradable soap, so you know we are not polluting anything. We just ate stew, and you know, so we're just going to take our containers of the stew and every rest. We're not going to leave it here.
Esta la vamos a lavar igual para botarla en sitio corresponde.
So basically she's washing that so that we can take it and it doesn't leak on the bag. Okay, so basically, you know, these are some of the things that we need to do in order to protect nature. Now, we use this space to cook, to clean, okay, but we did not leave anything. You see, I mean, this is what's expected by the park people, okay? Okay, but also, it's what we have to do in order to protect, you know, for this to be seen by future generations, you know, just like it is. Okay, this is something that is always done in South America. It doesn't matter where you go. You can just go to Central America, Mexico, they do the same thing. And you know, it's an art, so we try to do it too everywhere we go. You know, so farmer is doing it. And you know, believe it or not, you know, once you balance it, it just stays like that. You know, it withstands wind, rain, and everything else. You know, it is amazing. Okay, one of our trails led us to this road here. We're taking this road because there's you can see a spot where you can take, the sun is setting. So we're doing that on the street, here on the road. Hey. Here it comes. No, here it comes. We just were walking. We got onto the road and then we re-entered the hike because in order to get to the car we decided we were going to go through the hike, not through the road. So yeah, right here, right now. Okay, now this water was from the stream. We filtered it, and you know, honestly, it has a good taste to it, and you know, it's purified because finally got back to the car. Okay, we went through there. We just did a circle all the way, and we just came through here. So, okay.
Estamos tomándonos un té sabrosito después de una larga caminata.
So basically we are at the parking lot, okay, of, you know, it's Jones Run. That is the entrance, like on Shenandoah National Park. Okay, so we are in that parking lot. We just did a long, very long hike. We circled all the way through many waterfalls, etc. And you know, we are at the parking lot. Here's my car. Okay, and then we are enjoying a cup of tea. Okay, so you're wondering how, you know, we just have our little camping gas, you know, the water that we took from the stream, you know, we filtered it, and so it is good water, and you know, so enjoying a cup of tea.
Usamos todo el agua filtrada, mira, ya la
See,
usamos.
that was where we filtered water, and then we used it all. So you know, now we are going back to the camping, so you know, we will have water there.